All right, we have a test in here tomorrow, so I want to go over all of these things fairly quickly at the top, and then we'll get into what the nitty gritty is. Again, I've said this all unit. It's not that the questions are super difficult. It's a lot to remember. We have learned 2 weeks worth of stuff, and we were learning probably all but one day. So it's just a lot of stuff to remember. The questions individually aren't really bad. But then it's like, man, I got to remember from the day after spring break. Do y'all even remember what you did like for spring break? Like our memory's a little bit fuzzy. So right now, again, if you do not have Desmos up right now, I need you to shut your computer because I really need us to start off this grading period with a really good test grade. All right? So first question says, what is my central angle? What is a central angle? It's an angle that is in the center, and I'm just drawing this little picture for you to have a visual. But which one of these letters is an angle in the middle? And although A is correct, I agree with you, I'm going to do 3 letters. So what 3 letters create an angle A? FAC is a diameter because it's a straight line, but CAB is perfect. You also could have said BAC. You could say FAB.
Would it be wrong just to put A?
A is not, technically not wrong, no. But if there are a bunch of angles around here, like I labeled multiple, I'm probably going to put 3 letters. Also, it's a multiple choice test.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, what is a chord?
A line with 2 endpoints on the circle.
It goes through the circle and it stops. That is what a chord is. All right, it has 2 endpoints on the circle and it stops. So there are actually 2 here. What's one of them? EC or CE is a perfect answer. One more. Or there's another one. So EF, as long as you don't put arrows and you just say that it stops right there, that is a chord. And then there's one more. FC or CF. That has 2 endpoints. Now FC is special. Why? It's also a diameter. How do we know something is a diameter? A diameter is a chord that goes through the center. So it's still the same thing as above here. The big difference is it has to go through the center. A regular chord does not. It can go anywhere. What is a radius? That's probably the one that y'all know best. Starts in the middle and goes out. So there are a bunch of them here. What's the most obvious one? AB is a radius. Starts in the middle and goes out to the end of the circle. What else is a radius though? AC is also one, as well as AF. They also start here and go out. Start here, go out. Start here, go out. Although FC goes through the whole thing, a diameter does have 2 radii. An inscribed circle. What's an inscribed circle?
That one I know about. I'm pretty sure it's the one that goes like out the other side.
This is one that goes, its vertex is on the circle. Instead of being at the center like a central angle is, the vertex is on the circle. Which letter has a vertex on the circle?
C.
C is correct, but you are right. I'm going to write angle ECF. The middle letter, C, is on the circle. So that's what makes this an inscribed angle. A major arc is, I'm just going to write it on here, greater than 180 degrees. And you're also going to use 3 letters when you describe a major arc. So what arc is bigger than 180 degrees? C around here to F to B. Perfect. CFB. And put an arc above it. Starts at C, go around to F, around to B. Do y'all agree that's bigger than a semicircle? Yeah. What? E, B, Other way. EBC, thank you. EBC works. So does BCF or BEF. Those all work. All you have to know is it has to be bigger than a semicircle. So this one, it goes around, it's bigger than a semicircle. What about a minor arc? That's less than 180 degrees. CB is perfect. A minor arc, you're just going to use 2 letters for. EF works. By the way, you can switch around any of these letters. EC works. One more. FB works. Any of those are small, and they're smaller than a half a circle, so they work. And again, a minor arc is 2 letters, a major arc is 3 letters. If you need to write that down, write it down, please. My hope is tomorrow, while you're standing outside the door, hopefully not waiting for me forever, you pull this out and just glance at it before you come into this room. A secant. A secant is actually like a chord, but what's different? It goes through. It keeps going. It has arrows. So whatever we get as our secant should have arrows up top. Which line goes through the circle and has arrows? EF. Is there another secant here? No. No other line goes through my circle. There is one more line here. Do y'all agree CD has arrows? Yeah. But does that go through the circle? No, that just touches it one time. By the way, can y'all write, what is this point C where the line touches it once? I think you're going to get asked about that.
But that line will be tangent.
So this C is my point of tangency, but the line that's the tangent is CD. CD is my tangent line. C is my point of tangency. So a tangent line touches the circle one time outside. And then last but not least, I kind of ignored it, a semicircle. What's my semicircle here? F and C, but I want 3 letters for a semicircle. So you can say either FEC or FBC. Both of those are correct. It doesn't matter which way you go. So just write that down. We want 3 letters for a semicircle. And a semicircle, I should have done it. I did a picture. It looks like this. What questions can I answer about these pictures? Again, I think this part will be matching tomorrow. So just make sure you're paying very close attention to the letters and the order. If it's an angle, you're doing straight lines. Like these right here, inscribed angle, E to C to F, straight lines. If it has an arc above it, you're going around. Can I move it up? Okay. Next part is central angles, and I actually think your test is broken up like this as well. It'll tell you what the section is about. So this next part says central angles. And it says use the picture of circle O. So since it called it circle O, we know O is the center to answer these questions. What is angle? So angle means straight lines. SOU. How do I figure out what this angle is right here? That is 90. So I'm going to add, what is 125 plus 90? And then how does that help me figure out that angle right there? We know a circle adds up to how much? 360. So I'm going to do in my calculator 125 plus 90, and then I will do 360 minus 215, and I get 145 degrees. But then the question wants to know, what is STU? And this has an arc, so I'm going to go around. S to T to U. And it's 215Y. 125 plus 90. You just add them together. We had this on the circuit. Y'all did good on that one. 215 degrees is my answer. What questions can I answer about that? Please write this down with me. The next question says, using the picture of circle O, answer these questions. What do we know about arc GIJ? So start at G, go to I, go to J. What do we know about that? It's half a circle. And what do we know about half a circle? It's 180 degrees. Now, we're only focused on this half of the circle. Do you see how the picture for 1 and 2 has these little arcs right here? What does this mean? They're the same. So I can put a tick mark here and a tick mark here. They are the same. And if this is 65, what's this? How can I figure out what angle 1 and 2 are if I know, all I know is this side is 180 and that's 65? I'm going to do 180 minus 65, and 180 minus 65 is, whoop, I'm not typing. It is 115. But is that my answer? No, why not?
Because
There's 2 of them, so what do I need to do? Divide by 2. What is 115 divided by 2? 57.5 is my answer. Don't forget your degrees for both 1 and 2 because they're the same. So 57.5 and 57.5 is my answer. Do I have any questions about how or what I did? All right, turn your paper over once you have that written down, please. Samuel, DJ, y'all with me back there? Ooh, this turns into something different. Okay, let's turn it a different way. Last one about central angles is this question right here. If this is a central angle and it's 80 degrees, what is this arc right here? It also equals 80 degrees. So what's my equation going to be? And then we can just solve for x. Get x by itself. So what am I going to do first? And then and you will be expected to do that tomorrow. I think this is one of 2 questions that are not multiple choice. I'll show you in just a minute. The other solving equation question. All right, we are now on part 2 of this here. And part 3 is all about inscribed angles. We talked about that up front, but an inscribed angle is when the vertex is on the circle. And what was the rule that we had learned to figure out the arc if you have an inscribed angle? Multiply by 2. So what is 75 times 2? 150 degrees is my arc WX. You just multiply by 2. How do I find what's left over here, VX? Yeah, so I know, we just found out that's 150. Do y'all agree we know this is 96? So 150 plus 96. 150 plus 96 is 246. And then what do we know about a circle? It's 360 degrees. So 360 minus 246 is 114 degrees. Add them together and subtract from 360. Now this question right here is actually combining inscribed and central. So if I know this is 42, what is my arc AC? It's also 42. How do I find this angle B right here? Close. Divide. So over here, do you see how right here we have the angle and we multiply to get the arc? What if I have the arc? How do I go backwards to get the angle? Divide by 2. What is 42 divided by 2? 21 degrees. And if you can kind of think about it, this is bigger than that little angle, so you want it to be a smaller number. So that's how you know which way to go. This arc is bigger than that angle, so you multiply because I want a bigger number. The arc should be bigger. And then the last question says arc ABC. I want it to figure out the rest. A to B to C. How do I figure out the rest of this circle? I know a whole circle is 360 minus 42. What is 360 minus 42? 318 degrees. Questions so far? All right, I want you to star this one. Star it so that you can look at it before you come in tomorrow. This is one of the most missed questions, and that is because it tells you angle M is 2x plus 30. So I'm going to write on angle M 2x plus 30. Angle A is 100. It wants to know what is the equation. And you know what everybody tells me? Mm-hmm. They say, Miss Olivars, 2x plus 30 equals...
That's wrong.
That's wrong. It does not equal 100. You do. So as a reminder, if they are across from each other, are they the same? No. What do we know about these two angles right here? They equal 180 degrees. Write that down, please. These are not the same. They equal 180 degrees. So if this is 100, Brian, if I go look at your computer, am I going to see Desmos up? Right here, if I see 100, what does this have to be? It has to equal 80, because 100 plus 80 is 180. And then you solve. This is the only other question I believe that's not multiple choice.
So it's this question and the other one that we have left?
Yep. Get rid of your side chick and divide, and what is x equal? 25. Big thing here, they are not the same. On this problem, when you get to it tomorrow, please label your picture. And when you get to one like this, label it equals 100. It'll remind yourself not to put the same number. Well, the next question says, what is FAR? Here's F, here's A, here's R. I want to know, what is that right there? So what angle goes with it? I'm glad you know, Lily, but I know a lot of people will sit here and like, I don't know what she's doing. What angle goes with this arc right here? Which letter is not with it? M. And what did we say M was? That's 100, so we said this was 80. If we know this is 80, how do we find the arc? Multiply by 2.
Is that a glitter pen?
It is a glitter pen. It doesn't really work on this. I mean, I know y'all can see it just fine, but you can't see the glitter as well. 80 times 2 is what? 160. I have a glitter one that's, oh, I did have it. I don't know where it went. Yeah, it's like a metallic Sharpie. I don't know if you can see. Can you see it like shiny?
Yeah.
All right, almost done. We have about 8 minutes left in class, so I'm going to kind of zoom a little bit by this. This one right here says, what's angle T? 90 degrees. Everybody put a 90. Remember, if you have tangent and a radius, it makes a 90 degree. If angle J is 40 degrees, how do I find angle O? I'm going to do 90 plus 40, which is 130, and then subtract it from 180. A lot of y'all were really good at this in the fall. We just haven't done it in a hot minute. All right, if you have a triangle, add the two angles together and subtract from 180. If OM is perpendicular, what does this word perpendicular mean? So there's a 90 degrees there to LN, and PL is 18. I'm going to put an 18 right there. PL is 18. What is PN? Also 18. Because they're going to be the same. If it's 90 degrees, you put a tick mark. And if they're both 18, what is LN? What's the whole thing?
18
What is 18 plus 18? It's the same number. If there's a 90-degree angle, it is the same number. Okay, don't fail me now. If you look at this picture, what is BA? Why?
Because they're the same.
They're the same. If you have two tangents that cross, they are the same. What is CD? 8. Why? Why is it the same as CB?
Because
Their radii, their radiuses, they're the same. Okay, just the same numbers. These are the equations that I am going to give you tomorrow. So remember, if it is inside, you do the big plus the small arc divided by 2. And if it's outside, you do the big arc minus the small arc divided by 2. Again, I will give you these equations tomorrow. Also on these problems tomorrow, you are going to have to show work. Okay, what's my big arc here for number 1? It's 52. Is this inside or outside? They cross inside, so I'm going to add. What's my small arc? And then divide by 2. Don't forget, when you're putting this in Desmos, I would do the divided sign first so everything goes. 52 plus 36 divided by 2 is 44 degrees. What about number 30? What's my big arc? 123. Is this inside or outside? So I'm going to subtract my small arc divided by 2. Did you say I did something wrong?
Oh, no, it was me.
Okay. 123. Oh, you had them switched? Okay. And again, tomorrow you're going to have that. You don't have to sit here and guess what that is. 123 minus 47 divided by 2 is 38 degrees. Last one does not have numbers, but that does not matter. What's my big arc? Y. Is this inside or outside? Outside. So I'm going to, what's my small arc? Divided by 2. That is your answer. We don't have anything. We don't have any numbers. I know the bell's going to ring in 3 minutes. I just really quickly want to go over 2 things. Please look up real quick. You are going to have a question like this tomorrow. Do y'all remember how to answer it? Left times right equals top times bottom. But hold on, look. For those of you that are like, I don't even know what she's talking about, directions here. Your left and your right should be on the same line. Your top and your bottom should be on the same line. Turn your paper if you can't see that. So this would be 12 times 6 equals x times 8. How do I get x by itself? Divide by 8. And just put this in the calculator.
Would you be wrong to accidentally say left and right is top and bottom?
Nope. Same thing. Top. Yeah, if you switch them, as long as they're on the same line as each other. Left and right are right across from each other. Top and bottom are right across from each other.
How many absences I have in your class?
I'll look it up for you. All right, study. Bye. Thank you.